the thing about fences that nobody tells you: they're not just boundaries. They're the first sentence of a story you're about to write. When I finally decided to replace my chain link disaster with something that didn't look like a prison yard, I stood at the lumber yard for 45 minutes just touching different boards. My neighbor thought I was ridiculous. There I was, spending an entire Saturday building a gate that leads to, well, nothing yet. Just grass and some overgrown bushes, and a lot of potential. But here's what I've learned about gates: they're the difference between entering a space and arriving somewhere. I almost didn't put in a path. Seemed like extra work for something that's just walked on. But then I read something about how Japanese gardens use paths not to get you somewhere, but to keep you present on the journey. That stuck with me. This one felt vulnerable to admit, even to myself. I planted a magnolia. Not one of those fast-growing ones that'll give you shade in 3 years. A real one. The kind that takes decades to reach its full height. I spent 3 weekends looking for the right patio stones. You know, the ones, perfectly uniform, edges crisp, colors consistent. I almost ordered a pallet from a big box store. But something held me back. Then I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace who was tearing out an old walkway from a house built in the 1920s. My wife asked why I was putting windows in a shed. Fair question. Most people just want somewhere to hide the lawnmower and the rusty tools. But I'd seen these old potting sheds in English garden magazines, tiny buildings with glass panes and shelves full of terracotta and the whole place smelling like soil and peat moss. killed every plant I owned for the first 30 years of my life. Every single one. Overwatered, underwatered, placed in the wrong light, forgotten on the porch during a frost, I did it all. So when I started collecting pots for the patio, I had to talk myself through some old shame. For months, I was so focused on building and planting that I forgot the whole point, to have somewhere to just be. Then one evening I was exhausted from hauling mulch, and I dragged an old wooden chair I'd found at a garage sale into a shady spot near the Magnolia. This one came from a memory. My grandmother had this little fence around her vegetable garden made from woven branches, willow, I think, or whatever she could cut from the creek behind her house. There's a flea market about 30 minutes from my house that I'd driven past 100 times. One Saturday, out of boredom, I finally stopped. Big mistake for my wallet. Tucked between tables of vintage Pyrex and old vinyl records was a pile of rusted metal, gates, I think, and parts of fences, and things I couldn't identify. String lights are everywhere now. You can't scroll through Pinterest without seeing a dozen backyards draped in them. But here's what the photos don't show: hanging them is a nightmare. I spent an entire afternoon untangling, ladder climbing, rehanging, and starting over because the lengths were wrong. I didn't realize my yard was too quiet until I added sound. A friend was getting rid of a broken fountain, cracked basin, pump still worked, and offered it to me for free. I used to think a garden needed color, bright, bold, in-your-face color. I planted red salvias and orange marigolds and hot pink petunias. And you know what? They clashed with everything. They screamed instead of whispered. I never planned to get chickens. It seemed like too much work, too much mess, too much commitment. Then my daughter came home from a friend's house obsessed with their baby chicks, and somehow we ended up at the feed store buying 4 of them. For months, I had a blank wall at the end of the path, just fence and sky and not much else. Then I found an old window frame at a garage sale, painted it faded blue, and hung it on the fence like a picture frame. I built the fire pit mostly for me, a place to sit on cool evenings with a book and a blanket. But something happened the first time I lit it. Friends showed up. Neighbors wandered over. My kids dragged out marshmallows and forgot about their screens. My shed was a disaster. Tools everywhere, pots stacked precariously, bags of soil spilling onto the floor. I couldn't find anything, which meant I couldn't do anything. So one rainy weekend, I tackled it. Headboard on the wall for tools. Mason jars for nails and screws and seeds. My yard isn't big. I used to mourn that, wishing for acreage, for rolling lawns, for space to spread. But small spaces teach you different lessons. They teach you to grow up instead of out. I built trellises against the fence and planted climbing roses. I found the table on Craigslist for $40. Heavy, scarred, clearly loved by someone before me. I sanded it just enough to smooth the splinters, then left the rest, the wine stains, the knife marks, the rings from coffee cups. Now it lives on the patio under a makeshift shade sail, and it's where everything happens. When you first start gardening, you plant things where there's space. No strategy. No vision. Just sticking things in dirt and hoping. But over time, you start to see the layers. The tall things in back. The medium things in middle. The low things creeping along the edges. This one's a little crazy, I'll admit. I found an old grain bin on Facebook Marketplace, the kind that used to sit on farms, round and galvanized and rusting gently. It was cheap because nobody knew what to do with it. I knew immediately. For a long time, I planted for how things looked. Color, form, structure. But smell? That was an afterthought. Then I put a gardenia near the gate, and the first time it bloomed, I stood there with my eyes closed, just breathing. Now I plant for scent everywhere. I used to stress about every weed, every yellow leaf, every imperfection. The yard had to look like a magazine spread, or I'd failed. Then life got busy, and I let things slide for a few weeks, and something surprising happened. I started this project thinking I was building something outside. A fence, a path, a garden, a place to sit. But somewhere along the way, the building turned into something else. It became a way of being in the world, a way of paying attention,